Saying I do in a room full of guests, in a windy beach, or in a luxurious chapel in Europe is a fantasy for many who dream of their wedding day. Nonetheless, some weddings in the world have broken the records due to all their expenses, coming in at millions, just only in security or even wedding dresses. Today, we bring you a list of the 6 most expensive weddings in the history of the world. Most of the entries on this list have been, of course, weddings of millionaires, royals, or family members of either group, so don't be surprised if you see a prince or two, or maybe a wealthy tycoon in the following list. Without any further explanation, let's begin with today's video and the 6th place. The 6th place of our list was occupied by singer Liza Minnelli and concert promoter David Guest, holding their ceremony on New York's Fifth Avenue in 2002. The wedding was notorious due to its guests, among them being the whole Jackson 5 and even Michael Jackson as Guest's best man. Elizabeth Taylor was the matron of honor. Talk about a wedding of celebrities. And there's even more with Brian May, Liam Neeson, Gloria Gaynor, Joan Collins, Anthony Hopkins, and Mia Farrow also attending the reception. The wedding has been celebrated all across history as one of New York's most over-the-top 850-person guest list, tabloid coverage, and of course being held at Fifth Avenue. The knot was tied in Marble Colgate Church, though most surprisingly all of the comments were directed at the couple's infamous kiss, which even Donald Trump commented about. The 5th place on our list is occupied by Chelsea Clinton and Mark Mizvinsky's wedding, coming in at $5 million in expenses. Of course, being the daughter of the former President of the United States and former U.S. Secretary of State and Senator, Chelsea's wedding was far from simple. The groom, Mark Mizvinsky, is an investment banker and also a child of former Democratic Party members of the U.S. House of Representatives. The couple married at the Astor Courts in 2010, with their outrageous expenses reaching the millions. Most of them were allocated in the catering, the venue, flowers, and hiring the party planner, Brian Raffinelli. Other costs also include $40,000 for Jimmy Valley's music, $30,000 in security, $35,000 in photography, $25,000 in video, $20,000 in hair and makeup, and $8,000 for the wedding cake. Talk about expensive. The 4th place on our list is occupied by Wayne Rooney and Colleen McLaughlin, which came up to $8 million. McLaughlin wore a custom gown designed by Marchesa, featuring an enormous sweeping skirt made up of fans of frilled silk organza and a white veil. Her heels were encrusted in crystal by Christian Lobanti and was custom made to match her wedding dress. Colleen was accompanied by 4 bridesmaids, among them her late sister Rosie, who was wheeled in her wheelchair by Colleen's cousin, and also escorted down the aisle by Father Tony McLaughlin. The wedding was serenaded by Westlife, an Irish boy band, which alone cost $670,000, and Rooney had chartered 5 private jets to fly 64 of their guests to the wedding. The couple made their vows at the Abbey Cervera near Italy in 2008. Even more romantic is the fact that the couple had originally met at the age of 12 in the Liverpool suburb of Crosseth, and they began a relationship at the age of 16, just after they left secondary school. They currently live in Prestbury, Cheshire, in a £4 million neo-Georgian mega mansion, which has an indoor swimming pool, sweeping staircase, jacuzzi, and gold-plated taps. On the 3rd place in our list, we have the wedding between Prince William and Kate Middleton. It was dubbed the wedding of the century and held at Westminster Abbey. After the ceremony, the wedding couple paraded through the streets of London in a carriage drawn by horses. The service was conducted by the Dean of Westminster, and the Archbishop of Canterbury married the couple, while the Bishop of London gave the address. The Queen hosted a reception for the couple and their guests at Buckingham Palace, while the Prince of Wales hosted a private dinner in the evening. The couple's wedding cake was made by Fiona Charins, and the cake was a multi-tiered traditional fruit cake decorated with cream and white icing in the Joseph Lambeth technique. Kate and William's wedding cost a reported $34 million. The royal couple's 2 cakes cost $80,000 each. Kate's dress cost $434,000, the flowers cost over $800,000, and the estimated cost of security for the entire event was $32 million. That came to a grand total of $34 million for the entire wedding. On the second place of our list, we have the wedding between Venetia Mittal and Amit Bhatia, priced at $66 million. Venetia Mittal is the daughter of London's wealthiest man, a very rich businessman, and one of London's richest. Venetia, 23 years old at the time, and Amit, 25, said, "I do" in June of 2014 in an Indian wedding ceremony that lasted 5 days. The extravagant wedding was held at the 17th century Chateau Vaux-le-Calment near Paris in 2004, and the engagement ceremony took place at the Palace of Versailles. The invitations were 20 pages worth of poetry, site descriptions, and festival details that were delivered each in an individual silver box. On top of that, the 1,000 guests were flown on 12 jets rented by Mittal from India to Paris and stayed at the Hotel Le Grand Intercontinental, where all 600 rooms were booked for the occasion. Accommodations alone cost about $2 million. Amenities set up for the stay included a 24-hour snack bar. The entire first floor was converted into a beauty salon with hairdressers and makeup artists. 3 exclusive television channels broadcasting wedding preparations, movies, and news were set up. A team of 38 chefs prepared over 100 types of dishes, and luxury cars complete with bars were at the disposal of the guests for travel within Paris. Finally, Kylie Minogue was paid $330,000 to perform for just half an hour, bringing the wedding costs up to $66 million. Known as the wedding of the century, the wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer was watched by an estimated global TV audience of 750 million people. It was a time of great rejoicing around the Commonwealth, as many street parties and events were held in the UK to anticipate the wedding. Despite taking place several decades ago, Prince Charles and Princess Diana's wedding was by far the most expensive wedding ever, without even taking into account the other events that took place around its date. Princess Diana's wedding gown was covered in 10,000 pearls and had 25-foot train, on top of her being chauffeured in a glass coach from her place at the cathedral. Taking inflation into consideration, their wedding would have cost today around $100 million. They spent most of the money on security for the celebrations, but a lot also went into Diana's dress and the 225-pound, 5-foot-tall cake. It's no surprise that most of the entries on this list were made up of royals, artists, and family members of important businessmen. With so much money placed on dresses and cakes, Charles and Diana placed the bar very high for another wedding to top their own. We thank you for watching this video and also invite you to comment about the weddings we mentioned. Did you know any of them before watching our video? Let us know in the comments. Also, we encourage you to give us a like, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more information content like this one. We'll see you next time.
Listen!